If you could be any animal, what would you choose to be?
That's a difficult one. Probably some kind of bird, because then you're a bit more free than most other things, because you could just fly all over the world.
Wow.
Probably like a biggish bird, so I'm not going to get preyed on by smaller birds than that. So like a hawk or an eagle or something.
Wow. That's incredible. How long have you had this dream for?
Well, I quite often dream about flying. I don't know why, because in real life I'm scared of flying. But it's the same as like I also dream about like being underwater and swimming underwater and being able to breathe underwater, whereas I can't swim and I'm terrified of water.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like in my dreams I live out the things that I'm terrified of in this life.
Do you think you were able to do those things in a previous life, or do you think you
Well,
drowned in a previous life?
Well, because of what my beliefs are quite weird, and I believe that I'm living multiple lives at the same time in different universes. So my consciousness, like, so we all like my consciousness is like split between different universes, and so it's really confusing with me because I don't know which universe is like the actual one, or if they're all real ones, or what.
How many universes are there that you're split between?
Well, I've been through quite a lot of different ones. Probably at least 20 odd over the years.
And how many do you usually go between at any one time?
Well, I'm usually only in one at any specific time, but like I can spend like in the time that I'm sleeping in one, like if I go to sleep here, I could spend 5 or 10 years in another universe, and other times it can be I can spend very little time. So it's all really weird.
So in spirituality, some people believe that those actual are real multiverses.
Well, yeah, I believe that they're all real.
Are you spiritual then?
Yeah, I call myself spiritual atheist, because obviously I don't believe in God, but I do believe in the spirit realm. I believe in reincarnation and all of that stuff. I just don't believe in God.
So with the multiverses, do they all exist at the same time for you?
Yeah, they like I believe that there's an infinite number of universes within the multiverse, and like some of them are pretty much the same as ours, and others are completely different, and all the time there's new universes being formed.
Have you ever been part of forming a universe?
Only the one that I've been creating with Space here, which I do actually believe exists somewhere within the multiverse.
Is that how you're able to create it?
Yeah, I just see it as I'm like, but I think it's the same with anybody that creates worlds and universes and stuff. I just think that they're somehow like channeling thoughts from other universes and stuff, and that they're just writing down things, or that the things do come to exist once they create them.
What do you think about people who are authors then and writers? Do you
Yeah,
believe?
I believe that within the multiverse, their universes will exist. Like I believe that within the multiverse, a universe exists that's just like the Star Trek universe, the Star Wars universe, the Lord of the Rings universe, all of these universes.
So if a lot of people write about death and murder, but
Well, that's an unfortunate thing that happens anyway. I mean, it happens in this universe, so
the more people create books about death, which is one of the most popular topics, by the way, like love and death are the most two popular topics, for example, in poetry. So if people write about death a lot, then all those books in effect are creating more death in the world, do you think?
well, not in this world, but like death is an unfortunate side effect of life. Wherever you find life, you're going to find death.
Yeah, but if people are writing about death, it's creating more death, surely.
But death would be created anyway, even if they don't write about it, it would still happen.
I know it's still happens, but say there's 10 books that create about death, that's an extra 10 deaths, isn't it? Or 10 episodes of deaths, however many deaths are in the book.
Yeah, but since I believe that the universe, the multiverse is infinite, that means even the stuff that we write in is already going to happen in the universe, in the multiverse anyway. So whether they write about it or not, it's still going to happen.
Yeah. So you think the fact they write about it is irrelevant?
Yeah, because it will still happen eventually at some point in because the multiverse is infinite and continuously expanding.
So you don't think that people who write the books are the ones that are creating the stuff? You think it's they're right? So do you think, in other words, clarify the question, do you think they are writing about something that's already happened or going to happen anyway, or by writing it, they're creating it to happen?
No, I don't think that they're literally creating it. Like, I think that it's more that they're kind of channeling it.
Channeling things that are already happening or existing.
Yeah, or but they don't necessarily. I don't see time as like to me, like not all of the universes run at the same run at the same speed of time or at the same time. Like there's universes that could be hundreds or thousands of years behind us or in front of us. So some of the stuff that they could be writing, like the stuff that I create in space here, is several hundred years ahead of us. So from our perspective, it hasn't happened yet, but it does exist in the multiverse already.
Do you think we can create new realities then that have never existed before?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
How do you think that would be accomplished?
Just I think just if someone can like think and like I don't think like if you just walk along and think up some random thing, it's just going to suddenly happen. But I think if enough thought and something goes into something, then it can then form and become a reality.
So which would come first then, the thought creating it a reality, or would it
That's
already
the same
exist?
as like the chicken and the egg, isn't it? It's kind of a complicated thing to, because there's actually a thing in, I think it's in Babylon 5 where he one of the, in fact the first being that ever evolved in the universe, he was obviously billions of years old, but he was still present in Babylon 5. He turned up during near the end of the show, and he said like what came first, the word or the thought behind the word, which is the same thing as this, because you can't like think in words and stuff without having words, but then how can you put those words, put the thoughts, so you can't put the thoughts into words if you don't have words, so how are you thinking in words in the first place? But at the same time, like it's really complicated.
I know exactly what you mean. It's a bit like nothing can come of nothing, but even like, nothing is something.
Yeah, it's like these things have come from like things come from somewhere, but at the same time
they have to be created in the first place.
Yeah, but like, so something can't come from nothing, but at the same time, at some point there must have been nothing, because otherwise it would literally go back for an infinite amount of time that there was something, whereas we know that the universe is only 13.8 billion years old. So we know that 13.8 billion years ago, this universe came into creation. But where did it come from?
Exactly. Because there is no such thing as nothing, really, because nothing is something.
Exactly. So even if like there's theories that our universe was created by possibly the collapse of a black hole or something in another universe, but then even if that is the case, then that black hole and that other universe must have came from somewhere. So no matter how far back you keep going, at some point things must have came from somewhere, and yet at the same time they couldn't have come from somewhere, because they wouldn't have had anywhere to come from.
I think that's a good place to leave the interview. Thank you so much for the interview. Lovely to see you. Moo!
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.